Trust being the new currency. How does that build trust in an employee experience? Why it's so brilliant when you are considering automation and AI. Actually, just a little bit about me. Thank you, Stephanie, for the very kind introduction. I should have got my roots done. I've been in the industry a wee while now. But I have been in the industry a long time. And about 2.5 years ago, just set up a global payroll and consultancy business where we partner really well with the team at Neeyamo. We love the team at Neeyamo. But we partner supporting clients to do everything from strategy, cultural organization, delivering against a payroll agenda, delivering against an AI and automation agenda, right through to helping clients to really generate what are those measures, how are they tracking those measures, and then how are they operationalizing and impacting on the efficiencies across their global business. That consultancy business, I was clearly not busy enough because I got really frustrated just over a year ago with how my friends in payroll were struggling to manage national minimum wage, being manually done in a spreadsheet, having the triggers that were flagging on the payroll technology, but actually the calculations, if you've looked at the calculations guidance, it's like it's been written by the Riddler. Each of the categories are really quite challenging to do. So I thought, why do we not do it in a different way? And so myself and my business partner, Jenny Morris is an ex-HMRC investigator. She's led 2 of the big 4 NMW teams. And I approached Jenny. I said, look, nobody in the industry is doing this. I think we should do it together. Let's put our heads together. I need your brain in a great technology platform. And then we need to actually give the visibility to payroll so that it's a business problem, NMW, fair pay. It's a business problem, but it often gets landed on payroll's desk. Why? Because our data is the most scrutinized in a business. It's the most cleansed, it's the best data set, hence the reason why it's so brilliant when you are considering automation and AI. So I said to Jenny, how do we put our heads together and we create this? So whilst we launched the business just in March this year, we actually have been building the technology, going through rigorous testing, and really, really excited that we've got clients that are actually seeing the value and generating that exposure to be able to share with their leadership teams on this is where our risk is and how do we prevent that risk. So driving that piece around the importance of employee culture, the importance of transparency, let's throw in the mix our newer generations. I was watching the news just the other week, and there was a really difficult exam, I believe, in the English education system, and it went all over TikTok. The kids were all complaining. They were literally lobbying about the education system and why this exam was so difficult. Did anyone else see that news feature? I'm seeing some nods to the back. Thank you. Genuinely, the generation that's coming in, they're not scared to ask questions. They want to understand what it is to have access to pay. There's a generation there that are struggling to even get work experience. I was having a conversation with a really good friend of mine who said even today, bit of exploitation happening with 3 hours of free training or free work to see if actually they could qualify for the role. Text message, and then from that text message, please start tomorrow, you've got the job. Following day, gets ready, get up, really excited, I've got a new job, local delicatessen, and then gets a text saying, don't bother turning up, you haven't got it. Now, if the younger generation are getting treated like that, how does that build trust in an employee experience? That isn't the only conversation. One of my other clients in the consultancy business was saying to me that one of their directors had actually reached out and said, could we do internships? But actually, we don't want to pay them because they just want the work experience. And my client, CHRO, goes, hold on a second, if they're doing the work and we value the work that they're doing over the summer period, we should pay them. And we should pay them properly with the standards and the rates that are there with guidance. Let's remunerate them fairly. So if we're thinking about the generations that are coming in, that the fact that they do have access, this generation's got best access to tools and information because they've been brought up with technology. They can get access to information that being said, is everything on ChatGPT correct? Questions? We have to do our own investigations on it, but they do believe what they see, which is why we're hearing and seeing so much. The belief is the element that we need to make sure that we're encouraging the generations to actually have the access to what does it mean to be paid fairly, to respect them for the work that they're doing. But that should be across all the organization, not just the Gen Zs, but right through to the boomers. And sometimes I like a paper handout. I've been told I'm a bit of a boomer myself. So with trust being the new currency, how can you continue to build trust and factor that right from the beginning, from that trust of the contract? How do you continue to make those moments that matter? And how can we in payroll leverage that education so that we can genuinely focus on transparency and show them how they've actually been able to get paid? The future of employment, we believe at WH People and Fair Work Solutions, is genuinely being rewritten with the generations that are coming in. They're our future. The more that we can empower them, and the fact that we in payroll have access to all the different data sets. We've got access to every single department. We touch every employee's life if we're managing their payroll. And all the studies show they come to work to get paid. If we can show and demonstrate that they're being paid fairly, then that increases the element of trust. One of the things I would say is nobody's got endless buckets of cash. I'm owning 2 small businesses. I would love to give bonuses where I recognize reward, but I haven't got endless buckets of cash. I'm sure we're all sitting in departments where we're all looking at opportunities of where we can make efficiency savings and cost savings. But actually, in the newer generations that are coming in, there's opportunities to encourage stretch, leadership skills, driving some of those performances by actually encouraging them to be involved in lead initiatives. And we encourage that very much so when you're thinking about what your own payroll, global payroll strategy is and how you can drive that workforce experience by including the newer generations to get involved. Some of the times they have some of the most exciting ideas. Diversity is a gift. I don't believe genius comes from one person. I actually believe genius comes from a combination of everyone building and collaborating together. And it's those opportunities that can make the moments matter when you're building on trust and building on that experience. So, I'll conclude. I think I'm getting the hook anyway, because I'm Sven's warm-up act. I was very excited to be Sven's warm-up act today. But we believe genuinely, when you're looking at the employee experience, when you actually focus on really educating people with transparency, whether that be a case of having your skills set, having the evaluations, making sure that you've got that clarity. There's more and more legislation that's coming in that commands us to do this. So the more that we actually can be transparent and educate our workforce in really understanding how they're being paid and fairly across the organization, we believe genuinely payroll, with our level of transparency and our opportunity to elevate ourselves and be that strategic lever, that because of the rich data sources that we've got, that we can genuinely drive that change. Because it does really matter. If you engage someone in your organization and they love what they do, you'll get so much more productivity out of them. When just even saying a simple thank you. I used to do it with my old team where I did a 3-minute video every single Friday. Happy Friday, team. Some of you will know. Happy Friday, team. And literally it was done at a time that I wanted to say thank you for all the work you've done. A simple thank you can really make the difference to someone who's had a tough week where they've been trying to deliver for your business. Thank you. I appreciated that. I appreciated that, Paul. A simple thank you. But it really can make the difference. And it doesn't need to cost you money to have that level of care. And the level of transparency can also support with that. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a great rest of your day.